All right, everybody. Welcome back to another live streaming Alternative Money Monday. Thanks for being here. A little bit of a slow day today in the Alternative Money Monday world. Just going to be me and Tim today. We're going to go over a couple items and then we'll wrap it up with some giveaways. We'll do the Market Mondays as per usual. Maybe a little couple news mentions, and then we'll wrap it up. I think a lot of the Western world is still feeling the Thanksgiving holiday
holiday mood.
Yeah, everybody's in kind of a holiday mood. So we'll stick with that. We'll make it short and easy for everybody today. So of course, my name is Jeremy Fletcher, co-founder of Ledgerama, the makers of Walla Wallet, the original, the trusted, and the safest mobile wallet in the Hedera ecosystem. And of course, as per usual, I'm joined by my man Tim Mungai, our community manager here over at Ledgerama. All right, so the news that I wanted to go over. Oh, and of course, for the YouTube folks out there, we do these Hbar giveaways every week. So at some point during the show, I'm going to stop and I'm going to give out a magic number. You just email us that magic number, and the first person to email us at info@wallawallet.com with the magic number is going to win $25 in Hbar. And as per usual, we also have 10,000 jam tokens for our Twitter family, which we're always pleased to give away, courtesy of Tune.fm, Andrew Antar, and all those folks over there. All right, so without further ado, we'll jump into the main meat of the topic today. I'm going to share just a little bit. Let's see, let me pull this up real quick here. And send that away. And let's see. Oh, struggling a little bit here to find it. Give me just 1 second. There we go. All right, so checksums. So the magic subject of the day, checksums. All right, so what is a checksum? So this is, and why are we even talking about checksums? So this is something that Walla Wallet implemented. It is, checksums are required by default within Walla Wallet in our latest version 2.0. So over the past month, Walla Wallet released version 2.0 with support for the evolution of NFTs, with multimedia NFTs, file nesting, and all kinds of the OpenSea specs that give you all kinds of things like rankings and boosts and all those kinds of things. So super excited about the new release of Walla Wallet 2.0. And one of the additions that we had, of course, Walla Wallet's always had a main focus, part of our core reason for existence, part of our core ethos is security, right? So we want people's Hbar to be safe. We don't want people to, we want people to feel comfortable in the Hedera ecosystem, and we want people to feel like their Hbar and their precious value is always safe. So in that same vein, the checksums is a feature that we require by default. And so what are checksums? All right, so a checksum, just basically by definition, and this is coming straight out of Wikipedia here, a checksum is a small-sized block of data derived from another block of data for the purpose of detecting errors that may have been introduced during transmission or storage. And by themselves, checksums are often used to verify data integrity. So basically, a checksum is there to make sure that you've got what you think you've got. All right. Now, in the Hedera world, the checksum has a 5-letter format preceded by a dash following the traditional Hedera account ID that we're all used to seeing. All right, so the screen that I've shared here is from hashscan.io. Excuse me. Highly recommend hashscan.io. This is the mirror node created by Swirlds Labs and for the Hedera community, and it's a fantastic resource for all kinds of things, many things related to the Hedera ecosystem, particularly on the Hedera network. If you want to see transactions, you want to see accounts, you want to see tokens, you want to see, basically you want to get all the kind of fine-grained, granular detail about tokens. Hashscan.io is a great place to do it. And so as you can see here, you can look up any account to find the checksum available here. So what does the checksum really do? So basically, in Walla Wallet, by default, we have checksums required. It is a setting that you can turn off in settings if you really don't like the checksums, which you may not because you're not used to it, you can disable them in settings, but we highly discourage that because we've seen a lot of people lose Hbar. You might notice folks in the YouTube world might have noticed the rather dramatic disaster notification, the kind of warning. And the reason that we put it out that way is because as a wallet provider, we have seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And some of it's pretty ugly. When it's really painful to see people lose Hbar just due to simple mistakes. Something as simple as swapping a number around in your account ID, right? So if you're withdrawing from an exchange and you enter an address in that's incorrect, you swap one number around. You know, it can be 612123 or 612132. You know, if you swap those digits around and hit send and it's off, you know, that transaction is irreversible. And we have seen, unfortunately, we've seen quite a bit. We've seen millions of Hbar sent to the incorrect address. In one fell swoop with one particular case, there was a user that it just really broke my heart, but 600 in the neighborhood of 615,000 Hbar sent to an incorrect address. At the time that this happened, that was approximately $150,000 US Hbar. Now it's less since then, but at the time that happened, yeah, almost $150,000 worth of Hbar was sent to a wrong address in one fell swoop. Whoosh.
Right. That's crazy. That's 615,000 Hbar is crazy. And when I was doing my digging into checksums, I realized the actual person who proposed the implementation of this security feature was Dr. Leemon Baird himself.
Right.
And we'll attach the link in the description of this video, and you'll find that very easy to make these mistakes. Just one number when you're keying in your account ID. I can say mine publicly because anything that can be done to that account ID is just send me Hbar. So 0.0.278746. So if I am sending Hbar, exactly. So if I'm sending
H2 here, well, let's look it up. It is
278746.
8746. All right.
Right.
So before I skip over there, so you can notice here the account ID, right? So this 800 account is is actually the rewards account. So for staking, so all of the staking rewards are coming out of the 0.0.800, and you can see right here the checksum afterwards. Wow, it's really hard to see if I highlight it like that, but dash VSFOU, and that's the checksum. So basically, as long as the checksum and the account ID match, then you'll be sending in the correct. And Walla Wallet will let you know if the checksum and the account ID don't match, it won't let you send. So it's just so it's a safety feature. And here, as Tim mentioned, this account you can see the VHSCK, right? That's going to be the checksum. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, so if you want to send Hbar to a certain account using Walla Wallet, and you have that feature, that setting enabled under settings within your app, then if you write something incorrect, maybe you make an error by 1 digit, then it'll show incorrect. Your input is incorrect.
Right.
So it saves you along the way, and that was the whole point of having that feature over there, is just to prevent these silly mistakes, which all of us aren't infallible. We make mistakes.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and people, I mean, I understand that people have gotten used to entering in just the account ID. So, I've had a number of users say, I can't send. I keep getting this message about the checksums. What is this? Is this required? So, it's not 100% required, but we do set it by default. So by default, when you download Walla Wallet, unless you disable it in settings, it's going to require it, and you're going to get a big ugly error message that's telling you can't, and it won't let you send. It won't let you do anything if the account ID that you're entering doesn't match the checksum. It just won't let you send. And that is because we have seen, like I mentioned earlier, millions of HBAR have been sent to incorrect accounts. And as Tim mentioned, so one of the items that I had on my list here, so whose idea was this anyway? These crazy checksums, right? Well, they were not introduced by Walla Wallet. As Tim mentioned, this was not our baby. This is the result of HIP 15, the Hedera Improvement Proposal 15, which was authored by none other than Dr. Leemon Baird himself. So Dr. Baird, the co-founder and of the Hedera network and the chief scientist, the discoverer of the hash graph algorithm. This was authored by him. And we've gotten, a couple nice pats on the back from some of the developers in on the Hedera team. Of course, our CTO, Rob Kane's lead developer of Walla Wallet, has been in communication with Dr. Baird on some items as well. So we've gotten some nice kudos for requiring this. Some folks don't like it because they're not used to it, but we highly recommend you use it because it can prevent you from losing HBAR.
Yeah, and something else that I was thinking, maybe this is something that we can implement in Walla Wallet is when you're viewing the account, like when I'm viewing my account details within the app, is it possible to like showcase its corresponding checksum, that string of 5 letters, instead of having to log out and go to hash scan and check it out?
Yeah, so we're thinking of ways of making it easier, but we haven't implemented anything like that yet. Currently, basically what you have to do is just you've got to look it up on HashScan. And once people get used to it, part of the reason that we made it default is that, we want people to get accustomed to it, because once you get accustomed to it, it's really not a big deal. I mean, it's really easy to remember those extra 5 digits at the end of your account. And so as long as, so once people get in the habit of using the checksums, the extra 5 characters that are added, or 6 if you include the dash, it really doesn't make that big of a difference in terms of being able to memorize memorize your account ID. So we recommend that people use it. And if you're giving out your account ID for something like a token giveaway or anything like that, or if you're trying to send, we recommend you just get accustomed to using the checksums, because trust me, it'll save you. Especially if you've got one of those late nights and you're price watching, and and you want to either get some of your cryptocurrency, some of your HBAR off of the exchange, which we recommend you do anyway. There's been a lot of talk about self-custody ever since the FTX debacle. People not being able to access their cryptocurrency because they're stored on a centralized exchange. So we recommend that you get your cryptocurrency, your HBAR, all your Hedera tokens. We recommend you get these off of the centralized exchanges into a safe and secure wallet like Walla Wallet. And when you're doing it, the checksums can help you. So unfortunately, though, so this kind of leads me to one of the main questions that I get about checksums being required. So when are checksums required? So as I mentioned before, by default, Walla Wallet requires that the checksums for sending HBAR from Walla Wallet, but they are not required when sending into Walla Wallet. So just because you have the setting enabled in Walla Wallet, it's really only for sending. We can't enforce another wallet or an exchange. We can't enforce them or force them to use the checksums. We certainly hope that they do, but to my knowledge, none of the exchanges have really implemented the checksums. So you just really got to be careful. But on our end, we do everything that we can to protect the users and to protect their precious HBAR. So it is required by Walla Wallet by default, which can be turned off in settings. So in the case of these exchanges, so if you're using something like Binance or Bittrex or any of the big exchanges, any exchange really, when you're withdrawing into something like Walla Wallet, since they're not requiring the checksums, we just recommend that you really be careful and test, right? Do a test transaction. Send yourself 5 or 10 HBAR from the exchange. Most of the exchanges that I've used and seen in the past, And by the way, none of this, of course, none of this is investment or advice or financial advice of any kind. It's intended for educational purposes, entertainment purposes. So use it use it for what you will. But we do recommend the checksums. And if you're withdrawing from these exchanges, yeah, do a test transaction, 5 or 10 Hbar. It's going to take a little bit more time. You know, some of the exchanges aren't always the fastest. I mean, the Hedera network itself is lightning fast, but when you're going through these centralized exchanges, you know, they have some of their own checks and balances, little hurdles that you've got to jump through, confirmation times, things like that. So you might have to wait a little bit. It might take you an extra 15, 20 minutes or something, depending on the exchange, to do a test transaction. But do a test transaction, make sure that the Hbar or whatever it is that you're sending from an exchange, make sure that it actually gets where it's supposed to be, and then, you know, and to do another transaction. Transactions are cheap in the Hashgraph world, and I haven't seen any exchanges charging really exorbitant fees for small transfers like that. So go ahead and run a test. You know, save yourself the headache, save yourself the drama.
And guys, guys might be wondering why we when you're sending them jam tokens on Twitter, they might be wondering why each time we insist on sending a small amount fast, so that they can confirm, and then later on the huge transaction. So it's just again, it's just being safe. It's a good habit to save yourself some trouble, some stress in the future, in case you make any mistake.
Right.
Risk mitigation, call it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, test transaction. I mean, a big mistake, you lose big value, right? I mean, it's so easy to do, just swapping those numbers. So I think we've driven that point home, Tim. We hope that people use the checksums, and you know, we as always, Walla Wallet is there looking out for you, doing our best to protect your precious Hbar. All right. So in other news, so there were some mentions in Bloomberg. So, you know, the Bloomberg is a huge publication, huge news source for financial news. And over the past few months, I've seen numerous mentions of Hedera Hashgraph and Hbar in the Bloomberg, both on the TV and in their articles. I've seen mentions of Hbar, so that's pretty exciting to see. I mean, that's a huge publication, and you know, you see, you know, Bitcoin, you see Ethereum, you know, you start to see some of the bigger ones, but even BitBoy, some of you folks out there might be familiar with the influencer BitBoy. Shout out to him and the great work that he does. I mean, he's got a lot of followers, right? So he's got over 1 million followers on Twitter. Super popular influencer BitBoy. And he has moved Hbar into his top 8. So if you go to his Twitter page now and look at the tokens that he has listed there, Hbar has made it into his Hall of Fame, so to speak. So so nice to get some recognition there from BitBoy. Saw some really nice news about Saucer Swap being touted as the fastest decentralized exchange in the world, right? So they've been monitoring who's the fastest, you know, who's got the hostess with the mostest. So the Saucer Swap DEX, big shout out to that team and the success that they've had. And that I believe it was 8 seconds was the swap time on the decentralized exchange Saucer Swap. And they're just knocking everybody else's socks off. I mean, Solana, Avalanche, Cardano. Nothing against any of those projects or networks. You know, we're all working hard in this decentralized world to do what we can and make the financial world a safer and better place for everybody. But nice to see one of our home teams, you know, moving into the top rank there and moving into that #1 slot with the fastest decentralized exchange. No mystery to us as Hedera Hashgraph folks, of course, because we know how lightning fast the network is. All right, so for the YouTube followers out there, I'll give out the magic number. The magic number today is 796. 796 is the magic number today. And if you send that magic number to us at info@wallawallet.com, we'll reach out to you and you will be our $25 Hbar winner. So for the YouTube family out there, and for the Twitter family, I always love giving out these jam tokens because one, it's not like it's a whole heap of value, right? I mean, 10,000 jam tokens. I'm not even sure what the price is anymore. Last time I checked, it was around $5. But what it gives you is it gives you a little bit more experience with the Hedera Hashgraph network. It gives you experience with associating the token. You've got to associate the jam token in order to receive it. So it kind of helps you get your feet wet in the Hedera ecosystem, and it gives you some tokens to move around, right? It gives you an opportunity to see how lightning fast and how efficient the Hedera Hashgraph network and these tokens really are. It's really something else, something to behold. So we look forward to this every week. And our winner this week from our Twitter family, we've got 007 City X. So at 007 City X is the winner of the 10,000 jam tokens. So look forward to reaching out to them and getting those 10,000 jam tokens into their hands. On the market side, again, of course, none of this is financial advice. Just giving you a quick update anyway on some of the numbers. Kind of a sleeper week. We actually had kind of a nasty sell-off in the past 24 hours. There was we took a nasty little hit, but it didn't really move the needle all that much in the bigger picture. So total market cap for all cryptocurrencies going from 796 billion, so it dipped below 800 billion. But it's back up above 800 billion at 816 billion, so up about 2.5%. Bitcoin around 16,000. Man, I didn't think we'd see these numbers again. I mean, these were peak numbers back in 2017, 2018. So, I mean, really, it's we've come a long way, but but still didn't think that we'd see these numbers again. But here we are. So Bitcoin really just kind of is really pretty flat. Maybe up 1% over the past 7 days. Hbar actually doing pretty well, all things considered. We jumped from 4.6, in the 4.4 to 4.6 range, up above 4.8, floating above, floating near that 5-cent range. So actually up 5.5%, around 5.5% on the 7-day for Hbar. Any questions come in from the YouTube audience today, Tim?
No, we do not have any questions.
Everybody's got that turkey hangover.
Exactly. They ate too much from the grand mass families.
Right. All right. Sounds good. All right. So it's been another awesome Alternative Money Monday. Tim, thanks for joining me as usual. All the folks out there, don't forget to, reach out to us. Give us a like, if you like the content that you see here every week, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down. If you give us a thumbs down, then let us know why. Let us know what you want to see. Whether you like it or whether you don't, leave us a comment. Let us know what you'd like to see. If there's more information that you'd like, other teams that you'd like to see interviewed, we plan on bringing some teams back, now that we're kind of in the holiday season. So a little bit of a sleepy time, but we're always happy to bring in other guests for the live stream. So reach out to us, and you can always reach out to us via Telegram, Discord, info@wallawallet.com. There's tons of ways to get a hold of us. We always stay accessible. All right, so we look forward to reaching out to 007 City X from Twitter for the 10,000 jam tokens, and we'll reach out to our $25 Hbar winner. And thanks again, folks. Hope you have a great week, and we will see you next Monday.